News Channel 11 in your corner at noon.
After being convicted of more than a dozen corruption charges, former Bristol, Virginia Utilities executive Stacey Pomrenke now knows her punishment. This is News Channel 11 at noon. I'm Anna Zook.
And I'm Casey Marlar. At her sentencing hearing, her eyes filled with tears, Stacey Pomrenke begged the judge for leniency. Pomrenke's defense team wanted the judge to grant a punishment of community service in home confinement. Prosecutors wanted her to spend 63 months in prison. News Channel 11 community watchdog Nate Morabito reveals how much time she will spend behind bars.
Just moments ago, federal judge James Jones sentenced former BVU chief financial officer Stacey Pomrenke to 34 months in prison. That's more than any other defendant has received when it comes to prison time in this case. You know, she makes the 9th defendant now to go to prison eventually on this charge. She was able to leave court just a few minutes ago, and in the coming weeks will self-report to a women's prison in West Virginia to start that 34-month sentence. Let me give you the breakdown of it. 32 of those months are for her corruption-related convictions. Remember, earlier this week she was also convicted of contempt of court charge and conviction. She will serve 2 months for that, so a total of 34 months if you combine them together. She was crying as the judge sentenced her. She had her face in her hands as he continued to explain his reasons for doing that. She cried earlier in the day as for the first time we've heard from Stacey Pomrenke, she begged the judge for leniency, especially for the sake of her children, and she took responsibility and apologized to the community as a whole for her actions, saying, though I feel like I don't need to be put away. Of course, the judge disagreed. He did say he did not feel like Stacey Pomrenke was the main culprit in this wave of corruption at BVU, kind of indicating that he thought Wes Rosenbaum, the former CEO, was. But in the end, he still sentenced Pomrenke to more time than Wes Rosenbaum got. Wes Rosenbaum is now serving a 24-month sentence. Again, she is serving 10 months more, just under 3 years. The judge also said part of the reason for this sentencing, he felt like he needed to send her to prison, but not necessarily for the 63 months the prosecutors were hoping for. Basically, he said that he felt like she was publicly, in essence, humiliated. That's what the defense argued as well throughout this process, and she's been in front of the cameras for so long as this trial has been going on. Earlier this year, and then through the appeals process, through all the motions she filed as well. We did speak with federal prosecutors a short time ago. They tell us the BVU investigation is still ongoing. The Assistant U.S. Attorney Zach Lee told me he could not comment about the ongoing investigation into Kurt Pomrenke, the juvenile court judge, Stacey Pomrenke's husband. He was in court with her today, left court with her today, holding hands. The prosecutors say they are pleased with today's sentence of prison time. They believe it sends a message, even though it was below the sentencing guidelines. Again, they were hoping for 63 months. Defense was hoping for no prison time. In the end, the judge decided 34 months would send the appropriate message. Again, the BVU investigation still ongoing federally. Live in Abingdon, Nate Morabito, News Channel 11 in your corner.
Thank you very much, Nate. The developments in Abingdon, Virginia today in the case and sentencing of Stacey Pomrenke. Thank you, Nate. 8 other defendants in the BVU corruption investigation were all sentenced to time behind bars. They all cooperated or pleaded guilty.